Subscribe to our YouTube channel for in-depth interviews of India Inc. and press the bell icon so that you do not miss our updates.
Hello and welcome to Nirmal Bang, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Hiral Dadia. We have with us Mr. Shekhar, Managing Director at Galaxy Surfactants, joining in. Welcome to the show, Mr. Shekhar, and always a pleasure to have you and speak to you as well.
Yes.
Mr. Shekhar, let's understand, the first half of FY21 was really dicey for majority of the brands, majority of the sectors as well. However, we've seen that it's exceeded expectations, and the transition from the first half of FY21 to the second half has been pretty encouraging. How would you describe it for a company like yours?
I think all I would say is that it has been pretty interesting. So we have had both plus and minus. We've seen both plus and minuses this year. I think we started off on a huge amount of pessimism when the lockdown started, exactly a year back on March 22nd. The initial months, I think, or the initial quarter, I would say was pretty dismal and pretty difficult. But I think things started looking up right from the second quarter, and then quarter on quarter, they went on improving. And I would say we have done reasonably well across all geographies, whether it is in India or whether it is in the Africa, Middle East, Turkey region, or even USA. So all in all, the market and the demand as far as the industry is concerned has been, I would say, pretty robust. And this has been a period, that's why I said it has been a very interesting, starting off with pessimism. We went on improving our optimism, our outlook, our buoyancy, and the performance.
Absolutely. So with this, overall, if you go to see the first 9 months performance as well, we've seen a volume growth of almost a little over 4%. Now,
Correct.
If you look ahead, say the fourth quarter is over, if you have to look at calendar year 2021, are you expecting a similar kind of growth, or do you think it's going to exceed, we might see a double-digit growth that could start creeping in?
No, we would expect a similar kind of growth that we have seen, particularly in the second and third quarter. See, let us remember that we are not out of COVID totally. Correct. Not just in India, but across the world.
Correct.
The vaccinations have just started, and hopefully once the second dose of vaccine gets over and people get vaccinated, as you know, even today, there are a number of people who seem to be very suspicious of this vaccine. It is important that the vaccination is a success, across the country, and then we would fulfill the desire or the dream of herd immunity that we have been talking about. But looking at today, I think all of us certainly need to have caution, need to be worried, need to be concerned, and hope that everyone gets vaccinated, and then we are quickly able to go to a period where we can say we are free of COVID.
Correct.
And once that happens, I think what we call the normal life, will get restored back, and people can move around with confidence, and there can be a predictability and certainty in terms of what we intend to do, what we do, and what we will do. So I think while the demand will remain robust, because as far as the personal home care industry is concerned, it's a pretty resilient industry. And particularly these times, the products or the ingredients that we make for the personal home care industry will continue to see requirement and a demand. What is important to note is that uncertainty can always play truant, as far as this is concerned. So we can only, look forward with hope and optimism and confidence. And once we see normalcy being restored, I think we have no doubt that the industry will power ahead, will continue to move ahead and keep growing, not just in India, but across the world.
Right. So from here on, if you have to take two segments of business, that is the performance surfactants and the specialty care products, which according to you is going to be a growth driver? Because first 9 months, performance surfactants has done pretty well. However, we've seen some bit of a degrowth that has come in with regards to specialty products.
Yes. See, the performance surfactants growth will continue to be very strong. As you know, there are still areas of the world which are still underpenetrated with respect to the performance surfactants and the performance personal home care products, which have to do with, let us say, cleaning, taking care of your hair, the shampoos, and so on and so forth, the fabric wash and so. Now, we did see a degrowth as far as specialty ingredients were concerned, but because particularly in the first and second quarter, the consciousness or the requirement for beauty products was a little muted, but it has come back very strongly in the third quarter. I think, as you know, we grew on specialty ingredients also in the third quarter.
Correct.
Okay, and we are hopeful that we would be able to neutralize all the decline that we had maybe in this year and continue to go forward. We have seen that the world and particularly consumers are very, very not only bothered about safety and personal hygiene, but also they have started becoming conscious about their beauty and welcoming specialty ingredients or specialty products or premium products. Now, what is also important to note is that customers have been very, very conscious about sustainability, and this has been further strengthened by what has happened during COVID. So people all the more across the world are very, very conscious and committed to sustainability. And in that context, they would like to look for products which promise sustainability, which promise not only safety, but also sustainability, in the sense that they will have a least impact as far as the environment is concerned, which means they are against plastics. And so today, what we are seeing is emergence of solid shampoo bars, more and more products which use obviously non-toxic preservatives that we have been pioneering in. We also see emergence of products with in terms of refill packs rather than virgin packs, which we also see shampoos being made or packed in recycled plastic bottles. So these are the sort of trends which are happening and then growing. And we see that the specialty ingredients will come back very strongly and then continue to grow.
Right. So when you talk about the specialty segment as well, see over the next 2 to 3 years, what's the kind of revenue contribution we could see?
I think, see, in terms of, we have seen that, historically, we have said that 2/3 of volumes will come from the performance surfactants, and the 1/3 will come from specialty ingredients. Over a long-term horizon, we do see the volume of the specialty ingredients growing up. But in the near term, maybe in the next, let us say 2 or 3 years is concerned, I think this split of 2/3 and 1/3 will remain. And the revenue also more or less will be in that particular ratio of 2/3 and 1/3. Right. So we see this split holding its own during at least the next 2-3 years or so.
Yeah. Right. And in terms of different regions as well, domestic market has been growing. Africa, Middle East, Turkey has been growing. Rest of the world has seen a degrowth by 10%. Now, yes, we have seen a lot of logistical challenges that have impacted international businesses for a lot of companies. So is that the same reason why we've seen a degrowth in the rest of the world? And how do you see it moving from here on?
See, two reasons. The first reason is that the developed world has seen the impact of COVID much, much more than the developing countries. You know that even today, Germany has announced a lockdown for the first 5 days of April. So as far as the developed countries is concerned, some of the developing countries, including Brazil and other countries, we have seen the incidence of COVID not declining. Okay, and you talk about a second wave and a third wave, and they are again in the early stages of vaccination. So this has been one main reason which has disrupted normal life and the consumption of personal home care products in this country, not only in terms of the prioritization of consumption at the individual household, but also it also has been due to availability. Okay, we have seen the availability which depends upon movement or transportation of the ingredients across the world, severely impacted because of these logistics challenges. We particularly faced these issues in India, but they are certainly improving. But the expectation is that the transportation or the logistics challenges and the shipping challenges will continue to remain for the next at least maybe about 4 to 6 months or so. So we need to see that these challenges also are able to get normalized, which will ensure that goods move when they need to move. We have seen, Hiral, that in the last particularly 3 or 4 months or so, we have seen delays in shipping because of non-availability of ships.
Containers.
There are blank movements, ships sail without even touching the port. So we need to ensure that many times we advance our deliveries, okay, so that at least it reaches on time to the customer's place. So these are the two reasons by which because of which your consumption has been muted as far as the developed markets is concerned. One is, as I said, the incidence of COVID and COVID continue to play havoc, and the second is these logistics challenges because of the disruption of transportation across the world.
Right. As you mentioned about non-availability of ships and all, I think majority of the exporters have been facing that issue. So are we seeing any impact on raw material on the back of the same, due to which there could be a price hike or something that could be coming in?
Okay, now we have faced these challenges, and what is important is the tremendous amount of work done by our people, as well as the support from vendors. We work closely with vendors, and in these days, as our people were saying, many times we have to have calls or 80 to 100 calls every day with our customers and vendors. Okay, because customers are anxious and everybody is anxious in terms of filling up his supply chain. So how we can, let's say, certainly mitigate this situation is by constant communication, by keeping on telling our customers, updating our customers what to expect. And so for we should say certainly there has been a disruption of raw materials because of the logistics challenges, but we have been able to navigate. I should also admit that we have had certain production losses because of raw materials not arriving on time at our factories. But I think, but this is a situation. We have to acknowledge the reality, contend with this situation, overcome this situation, and then keep on coming on top. And this is a everyday job, everyday struggle, everyday survival.
Absolutely. Another interesting fact, Mr. Shekhar, that I've noticed is that the margins in the third quarter were a little over 18%, whereas in the previous quarters, we've seen margins in that range of, say, 13 to 15%. Hello. Now, are we expecting this kind of number to continue? Because it's good to really see that in spite of these challenges, we're trying to improve our margin profile as a brand and as a company.
Yeah. So if you see over a time horizon, we have said that our share of specialty ingredients will keep on improving, and at the same time, our capacity utilization for performance surfactants will improve. And that's how when we talk about margins, we always talk about EBIT ton. We had, talked to the investors that our EBITDA per ton will be in the range of 15 to 17 till last year. Now, in the conference call with investors during the third quarter, which happened in the month of January, we did say that we would expect now the EBITDA per ton to be in the range of 16 to 18,000 per ton from 15 to 17,000. So this is something, this secular improvement will happen, and we would see the gradual improvement of EBITDA per ton on an overall volume basis in the coming years.
Right. And then with this, when we're already talking on the margin profile as well, because we are seeing premiumization, because we are seeing improvement, what share of premium products would we see in the surfactants division?
Okay. Now, let me say that the premiumization as a concept is catching up. It has got initiated, and even in a country like India, the premiumization is something which is pretty welcomed, and these have been taken forward by a number of e-commerce players, apart from, of course, the main traditional players, including multinationals. But I would say that the share of premium products in terms of value, even today, is not very, very significant as far as the personal home care industry. When I say significant, I think it will still be possibly in the region of maybe 20-25% and nothing more. Okay, so the premiumization, of course, is a concept more in skincare. Okay, maybe rather than hair care, the percentage of premiumization in hair care will still be maybe in the region of maybe about 10 to 15% or so, nothing more than that. But this is a this is a growing phenomenon. This is a growing category, and that is what makes our specialty ingredients run. So our specialty ingredients will ride on this premiumization as we go forward.
Right. And do we see a change in revenue mix coming in from different regions? Because somewhere right now we are in that almost equal revenue coming in from India, AMET, as well as rest of the world. But taking the trajectory into consideration, are we expecting a change coming in there?
No, we would expect that this split or this equal percentages more or less will remain. I mean, there could be plus or minus 2% here and there, but this will, sustain. This will sustain.
Right. Overall, we've been known as a company which gets a lot of innovations right now. Now, we have around 13 patents which are applied and yet pending approvals. Anything that we can expect on that in the coming 12 to 18 months?
See, as a matter of fact, all the products, which have come through patents, almost as of today, I should say that 60% of our patented products have been exploited commercially. Okay. These are obviously at various stages of customer approvals, because in our industry, the customer approvals takes a significant amount of time, because you need to make a formulation, you need to put it on stability, you need to do all sorts of safety studies before you launch a product. Okay. Now, but what is significant and important is that we have seen our specialty ingredients with respect to mild surfactants, the varieties of mild surfactants. We have engaged with a lot of customers in the developed markets, and also the developing markets, including India and China. And we have seen very, very encouraging results coming from them. Okay, so this is one. Now, the second is non-toxic preservation. We launched non-toxic preservatives sometimes year and a half, 2 years back. Our customers started working on them, and we have now started seeing these non-toxic preservatives growing in a very, very significant way. And with our project for these non-toxic preservatives getting completed in Jagadia, I should admit that COVID did delay this particular implementation of this project by almost a year or so. Okay, so we need to equip ourselves and arm ourselves with capacities for us to run much, much faster with respect to engaging with customers, introducing these products, working to together with them, and then seeing the fruits and results as far as these specialty ingredients are concerned. So what we are seeing is a very, very encouraging environment with respect to the end use market across various geographies. And as you rightly said, Galaxy is driven by innovation. We have been a pioneer in terms of coming up with a lot of innovative new products for this personal home care industry, triggered, of course, by our philosophy of consumer to chemistry, what the consumer needs, and then creating these products and then taking it to customers, working together with customers. And so this, we are very, very buoyant and optimistic about this. And not only that, we are also pretty excited in terms of bringing these products to the market and the consumers.
Right. So will we see an increase with regards to where the R&D spends go of the company going ahead?
Yes, yes, certainly, yes. As you know, we are already making our R&D center much bigger in TTC. That again, the project got delayed because of COVID. But then one. Number two, you know that we are setting up a big pilot plant in Tarap, a big R&D investment. That is again nearing its completion. And so this is going to certainly fortify not only our R&D efforts, but strengthen us in terms of scaling up all our products which is developed in the laboratory. So all in all, innovation is a very, very important pillar of this organization. We have invested significantly, both in infrastructure, equipments, as well as people, across.
Right.
Yeah.
And then do you think there could be an impact overall on the back of higher fatty alcohol prices? Because that has been on an increase. I think we've not seen these kind of prices. I don't know in how long.
Very much.
So do you think that's something which could impact us?
Okay. See, we are seeing this significant increase almost after a period of maybe 6 or 7 years or so.
Correct.
In the last maybe 2 years, there was a reasonable amount of stability with respect to fatty oil prices. But we have seen tremendous volatility starting from last quarter of last year. That is October to December quarter. But as you know, our business works on how we manage this volatility. How do we ensure that because as you know, we don't speculate. We never speculate. Our business is creating value for our customers by innovation. So what we do is that how we manage this volatility so that it doesn't impact us. Okay. But then naturally, when the raw material prices go up, the selling prices will go up. Yeah.
Right. And overall, from here on, what's going to be the Capex plan? Because we have a global presence in terms of R&D. We do have a global presence in terms of manufacturing as well.
Yeah.
So from here on, what's the growth story? What's the strategy? And what are the Capex plans?
Yeah, we will continue to invest, as we can see, over the next 2 years. Again, our Capex will be in the region of 150 to 200 crores per annum. Okay. As a matter of fact, in this year, against what we intended to spend about 150 crores, we could not spend that much in 2021, which will again get carried forward to the next year is concerned. So we have ambitious expansion plans in our various geographies. And then, so this will happen.
Right. So all this, Mr. Shekhar, will be from internal accruals, or do you think?
Yes. Very much from internal accruals, because we do generate cash every year, more than 200 to 250 crores of rupees. So this will entirely be from internal accruals.
Right. And very lastly, if we have to look at Galaxy Surfactants, say from the next 5-year perspective, what's the vision going to be from here for the 5th year from now?
So I can say that Galaxy has over the years achieved a leadership place in this industry. Okay, we have played across all geographies. We work with all the leading customers as far as this industry is concerned. So we will continue to grow ahead of the market in the coming years, which we have always done. We will continue to grow ahead of the market. We will further create value for our customers and ourselves by innovation, by being bringing in more and more innovative products to the market. We will continue to grow on both performance surfactants as well as this specialty ingredients. Continue to grow on all the segments of customers, T1, T2, T3, and T4, and particularly the emergence of T3 and T4 customers through e-commerce and what we call indie brands in USA has been very significant and tremendous during the last year. The share of indie brands in USA has grown significantly. So we work closely with them and then become a partner, with them in terms of bringing their products into the market, because these customers particularly look forward to our collaboration and our support in bringing products into the market. We will continue to do that. And so it's we look at the coming 5 years as a very exciting period to do a lot of things. Yeah.
Absolutely. And it's going to be exciting for shareholders, investors across as well. Thank you so much, Mr. Shekhar, for joining us on the show.
Thank you, Hiral.
Speaking to you as always, and speak to you soon again, and stay safe.
Thank you. Thank you very much, and stay safe.